Hello, everyone. Dr. Maria Sampal is here today with Liliana Stankova from Bulgaria. We're going to talk about optometry in Bulgaria and, the European Optics and Optometry Academy. And I want to welcome Liliana for joining us today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Maria, for having me today. I'm really honored to be today with you and with your colleagues who are online and listening and watching this interview.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure because when I found out it was a woman president, I was pretty intrigued and I wanted to have you on and kind of celebrate you and what your achievements have been and how other women can kind of look up to you to, join organizations, become leaders in different organizations all over the world. Give us a little bit of background on you, what you do, what your accomplishments have been, and then we'll dive into the questions.
Okay, in a few words, I would say I am optician's contact lens specialist according my education. I finished first of all my study as an optician in Bulgaria in 1980. First one at the technical school for fine mechanic and optics, and after several years working as opticians, I got the chance to finish my study, my education as a contact lens specialist, because at that time we didn't have had any education in optometry in Bulgaria, and I used every chance to get some additional courses and some additional trainings, either by the industry or some university, to become specialist in contact lens field. So at the moment, I am working in my optical store as a consultant and as a dispensing and specialist for contact lenses for myopia management and keratoconus lenses. And in the same time, I am giving also consultations in the largest eye clinic in Sofia. In the field from the contact lens for the contact lenses and myopia management. In the past, I had my own private school for opticians, and after pandemia started, I finished that project because it was not easy to restart after the pandemia. So this is my professional. My daily duty working with customers and patients, and I really like to do my job because I like my profession.
Yeah. Can you give us a little bit of background for those of us that don't know of the European Academy of Optometry and Optics? What's the mission?
Oh,
What is the goal?
thank you very much. I can give you with pleasure this information. The European Academy for Optometry and Optics was launched in Lausanne, Switzerland in May 2009, and the spring meeting of the European Council of Optometry and Optics, call it ECO. The Academy Secretary is now hosted by the Association of Optometrists in Ireland. At the 31st of December 2021, our membership is as follows. We have 125 individual members, we have 21 organizations members, and we have 19 educational establishment members. If you ask me why is the academy needed, I will tell you the follows. ECO and European Academy for Optometry and Optics are sister organizations, where European Academy arose from European Consilium for Optometry and Optics, seeing the need for an association to be focused at the educational mothers from optometrists and optics in Europe. And since the launch of the academy in 2009, the academy has built a huge network of eye care professionals across Europe. Together, we are working to harmonize the standard and praxis in optometry and optics. For the past years, the Academy has provided a forum where experts and practitioners can come together to meet, share their success and everyday challenges, to learn more from each other's experience. You know, the praxis in eye care in Europe is changing, and those changes are happening in different places and in different countries as well. As a profession, we must work together to ensure that issues such as aging population, a growing need of healthcare, technological advancement, and consumer demands. We are helping, as Academy, we are helping optometrists and opticians across Europe to work in a collaboration and not in isolation to meet these everyday challenges. Many people ask me, what about member benefits? What will I get when I become a member of the Academy? I would say here in our Academy, each member can join a network of professionals and get the chance to build later a happy and healthy career. Membership is giving chance to the member to play a role in shaping optometry and optics in Europe. We also have the chance and opportunity to collaborate with individual members, practitioners, industry bodies, and educators across Europe and beyond. We run also in our academy 6 special interest groups, and they are on the following topics: binocular vision, cornea and contact lenses and refractive technologies, optometric education, low vision rehabilitation, myopia management, which is very common topic nowadays, and primary eye care. Those groups allow members of the academy to build links and with other professionals from Europe and on special topics in a particular interests. Each member from our academy is given the opportunity to apply and become a fellow of the academy. Fellowships are awarded to members who have significant contributions to the promotion and advancement of the optical profession and optometric profession. And since the title fellow designates the acknowledgement and the acknowledgement of the members and their experience, accomplishments, and commitment to the profession. Our annual conferences is must-attend event, and this is really the most important event in a year where all of us can get together and meet in face. Unfortunately, pandemia made it not possible to do this in the last 2 years, but we were happy this year in May to have our first in-face conference to draw in Dublin in Ireland together some of the best clinicians and the best educators, researchers, scientists, and upcoming students from across Europe and beyond. Our first in-face meeting gathered, let's say, when I am not wrong, 210 delegates. It's a 20 the discussions performs through the special interest groups. So we are really a global community, and our members are not only from Europe. We have all members from Canada, from United States. We have members from Lebanon. We have members from Israel, and here is probably the place to say that thanks to our sister organization from the state, the American Academy for Optometry, we have the traditions to invite them to our event, and they present also their interesting, they deliver their interesting news topics and discussions and lectures to us. We are very pleased at it.
Yeah, it's
So
super important
in a
that we collaborate. So yeah, I mean,
yeah,
having doctors from the U.S. or other countries come and work with, the European Academy, it's important because it also helps, elevate the profession, maybe help advocate to change some of the scope of the profession as well as we kind of all work together. How did you get involved and how did you prepare to become the woman president of that or big organization?
um, it all started many years ago. When I was sent by my colleagues from Bulgaria to represent the Bulgarian Association of Opticians and Optometrists at the General Meeting of European Council for Optics and Optometry in Bled in Slovenia. And I would say that I am involved with the professional and educational policy related to optics and optometry for over 30 years now at the local and international level. I was an active member at the time. I was an active member of the European Council of Optometry and Optics, and I served in two committees. The first mandate was the Education Committee, and the second was the Professional Service Committee. And as a member of those committees, I was involved in several projects as a TUPO, Twinning University project in optometry, where we tried to get together the universities from Europe to try to harmonize the way of education in optometry. A European diploma in optometry, which project, which is the golden standard for practicing optometry in Europe, and the Blue Book, which is an overview across Europe about optometry and optics praxis and education as well. At each ECO meeting, of course, I met really very, very nice, experienced, and interesting people. With the time, I got involved in actively participated in the life of this organization, and getting experience from this with colleagues. I was really happy that I saw the best practices and the best educational program in optics and optometry. There was a very interesting meeting which I want to share with you. I hope, I strongly believe that your listener will be also happy to hear this story. Once I had the chance to meet a prominent German professor, Dr. Gunkel. Unfortunately, he's already passed away. But at that time, I remember it very well forever what he told me. And he said to me, if in America, if you go from east to the west, you will cross many states and you will not have to cross border and everyone will speak the same language to you. In Europe, if you go from east to the west, you will have to cross many borders and you will be spoken to in different languages and you will experience different cultures. Transfer to our sector of optics and optometry, the difference in praxis was much more noticeable until few years ago. When I arrived in Germany, for example, in 1987, my diploma was not recognized, although I already had 10 years experience as an optician in Bulgaria, in my country. I was hired as an apprentice. So this was my first meeting with the different approach and way of practicing the both professions, optometrists and opticians. And as an active member of and participant at every ECO meeting, I realized that optometry and optics are evolving worldwide, but there are different systems and approaches in Europe. And I embraced one of the main ideas of European Council of Optometry and Optics, namely first educate and then legislate. I shared the idea for movement of professions. As I told you, my own experience showed me that if you go somewhere else, you will be not fully recognized as opticians or optometrists. People must be free to go whenever they want to do and practice their own profession. So the keys for this was the setting of high requirements for acquisition, knowledge, skills, and competences, and the way of practicing of the profession. And then I realized that this is very important to have an organization who is doing special steps in this case. And so 13 years ago, I immersed my, 13 years ago, sorry, in May, we decided to establish the European Academy for Optometry and Optics. It will be very difficult for me to say in a one word what is attracting me to that organization, how I get involved in this organization. But I would say, and I will try, this is the community. This is the community. I also was attracted by the chance to get our knowledge and learn from the experienced colleague of mine. And so this was a great opportunity to create a network of professionals from different countries. At that time, as I said before, we didn't have had any education in optometry in Bulgaria. So this is the story how I come to the academy. And in fact, as I told you, I become the second female president this year in May during our first in-phase conference in Dublin. And this is because 13 years ago, I really fully immersed myself in the academic community by getting involved not only in every conference, participating in every conference, but getting involved also in the board of trustees. So after that, in 2017, I become title fellow of the academy in category professional advancement and management of visual health care. So having benefit so much of from the interaction and learning from the network and from the colleagues, I was thinking this is time where I need to give back, or I want to give back something to the academy, assuming the role of a president of the European Academy for Optometry and Optics.
Great.
Yeah, it was not easy to take this decision because during the pandemic, I didn't have had the chance to work side by side to the past president of the academy, already past president of the academy, Professor Nick Romney. But I think I will rely on wonderful team which we will have now in our new board of trustees, and I will rely on our education committee where we have great professionals thinking about our scientific program and contents of every academy activities. So I will rely as well on my previous skill and experience getting by other activities of mine by European Consilium.
Give us some background on scope of practice on Bulgaria and what education is required to become an optometrist in that country.
Oh yes, this is very nice that you asked me. I listened carefully some of your interviews. By the way, congratulations from this idea to invite leaders and different professionals from different places around the globe for speaking about the optometry and optics education in a different countries. And I see we differ from each other, and it's a really need to harmonize not only the education but the praxis as well of both professions, optometrists and opticians. And this is what I was thinking firstly as a chairman at that time years ago on our of our National Association for Optometry and Optics in Bulgaria. I was not that happy with the situation that our two occupations were recognized as a handicraft occupation. And I tried to do everything possible to convince my colleague, listening the experience and getting the information from other countries to convince them to get out from this Handicraft Act. And when I became a president in 2006, I succeeded with a small group of leaders, people who were in line with this vision that we need to become again healthcare professions. We succeeded to change the law. And after we changed the law, we become again health care specialists, the opticians and the optometrists. And for very first time, optometrists in Bulgaria were recognized as a profession, existing profession on the healthcare map. And of course, we have a lot of work ahead to do some other changes by the law to recognize optometrists as a profession which is autonomous, and according the world definition, what is one optometrist? They need to practice autonomously, not supervised by a doctor or somebody else. And nowadays, we have two places in Bulgaria. We have two universities who are doing trainings in optometry. Of course, the programs of the two universities differ a bit, because one of the university is rather training optometrists for the clinic and the hospitals. But anyway, I'm happy that this project started, as I said, after many years struggles and trials to convince the parliament and to convince the healthcare minister that this is a really very nice project, and our public, our people here can benefit of existing of optometrists in Bulgaria. We are a poor country, you know. We at that time we had a really very strong resistance by ophthalmologists. And I was always trying to make a policy like this, that we three O's, ophthalmologists, optometrists, and opticians, we are working nowadays in a unique symbiosis. You may see here in Bulgaria this unique symbiosis, those three O's working together on the territory of the optical store. Okay, we are like a family. This means we should understand each other and we should help each other, because we are from the one side, and from the other side in front of us is the patient or client, and we should act as a one and not to lose to win, just opposite, to win the awareness and to win the trust from the patients to us as a specialist. And fortunately, nowadays we have some key opinion leaders who are working together with the universities and helping by education, by educating the future optometrists. So,
what are some career options optometrists have? Like, is it hospital, corporate, private? What does that look like? What are some popular corporate brands in Bulgaria?
Okay, I would say that since 2009, we have already several courses in optometry. Actually, we have a bachelor and master degree in optometry, and recently they started also to have doctors in optometry degree. But the future for the optometrists who finish their education after university is mostly to work in a stores as a refractionist or dispensers. There are very few who are working at the clinics. And as far I know, there is only one colleague of mine who established his own praxis as an optometrist. As I told you, this resistance by ophthalmologists is not yet fully overcome, but with the time they will realize, I'm convinced that they will realize that the optometrist can help them, and they can be very useful either in the clinic or in the hospitals. And because waiting time to meet a doctor is pretty long. Of course, we have plenty of private clinics, but when I see that there are also not that many young eye doctors, ophthalmologists, they have a lack also an ophthalmologist in that clinic. They are very well equipped, they are very modern, but there is still lack of professionals or people who are willing to continue their education as ophthalmologists. And of course, there is a time or place for optometrists, plenty of places for optometrists.
What I've found is by doing these interviews, every country is different with scope of practice and things like that. And there has been opposition from ophthalmology. Unfortunately, we have some opposition here in the US, and we've changed scope over the years, and we work together, and optometry has been the primary care, and ophthalmology does the surgeries and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But what I find is when there are less ophthalmologists in that country, optometry grows. So that might be something great for Bulgaria over the years as it changes. When I did an interview with the UK, there was less ophthalmologists, but more optometrists. Where when in Greece they had a lot of ophthalmologists, optometry was small. So I think over the years, optometry will expand in Bulgaria, and I think it, people want to. I mean, it's primary care. People need to see. People need to see someone. So I think the healthcare will change, and hopefully with the European Academy and World Council of Optometry, we can kind of bring optometry to the 21st century all over the world.
Yeah, you're right. The business model in Bulgaria allows public people to coming directly the first place where they are going to get some answer for their eye health. It's the optical store. They just come and say, I have some problems. I cannot see properly. Could you please check my eyes? And so on and so on. And this is really very easy for the society to get at the faster way some solutions for their eye health. And what else I want to tell you is that I don't know exactly the number of the eye doctors at the moment in Bulgaria, but I would say that I know many of them who left Bulgaria and went in abroad to work in other countries. This is mostly because of economical reasons. But those doctors who are working in optical stores, they're happy to work with us because they are better paid in optical stores as an employee in state's clinic or in a state's hospitals. And this was the economical reasons why my colleagues invited the eye doctors to work in their stores in their own company. But I think that this model with the time will change after the ophthalmologists become more insured and more convinced that the optometrists are very well educated, that they can trust to the optometrist. I personally, as an employer, I have sometime new people to appoint here in my company, and they're very well prepared. They have really very good knowledge, and they have very good competencies. But I see that they miss the link between theory and praxis. So they don't do a lot of praxis in the universities. They don't go to the clinic to have for year or for semesters. I don't know how they can build this relation to get more practical skills, and we lose the time to educate or re-educate them, and they are happy when they can learn more about refraction and contact lens fitting on a place, to master it on the place where they are working, or they count on the education and trainings given by industries. So maybe we have to work a lot with the educational institutions as a business, and to show them that we need this link between praxis and theoretical part of the optometry.
Yeah, it's a big push. It's a big push for me right now to kind of help optometry all over the world to expand scope. It really affects us in the U.S. too. I feel, and I think optometry is a great profession. I think it could be great all over the world, and it really saddens me that some countries it really is just a refraction, unfortunately. But I feel like with this platform being large, we can make a difference. We can get education out there. We can kind of show what optometrists do in one country versus another, and how it's just better for our patients. So I want to thank you for joining us today. Congratulations on your appointment as president of the European Academy of Optometry Optics. Super excited for you as a woman to do that, and leading and showing example for other women to take leadership positions. And thank you for trying to change scope in Bulgaria and Europe and all over the world. I mean, making a big change.
Yes, I have to thank you as well. And what I want to add just a few words. Each of us, we were a little girl once, okay, with the same dreams, with the same hopes, and with the same fears. And later, many of us have or face some difficulties on the road to success. In my opinion, the first steps is to overcome the challenges and to create awareness. With awareness, you can overcome these challenges. And once we identify our talents as a woman, once we identify what these talents means to our work environment, maybe we can ensure our success, and we can try to give our voice, and we can try to speak. And this is my message today for every woman who wants to become a leader: speak, speak, and collaborate.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
once again, Maria, and wish you a wonderful day, and hope to see you once in area or somewhere in Europe if you are somewhere nearby.
Yes, yes, we visit Greece yearly, and happy to
Yeah,
be
you're
involved
welcome in
if invited.
Sofia. Come to Sofia, visit me here.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye.